A young girl was forcibly locked inside a 2-ton iron coffin and then thrown into the unfathomable depths of the ocean. As she desperately struggled, her life quickly faded away. Yet, in the very next moment, she miraculously came back to life, only to be drowned once more by the relentless sea. For an agonizing 500 years, she endured an endless cycle of death and resurrection. It turns out that this woman was an immortal, blessed with an undying body. She and Ayla were the first immortals to walk the earth. Utilizing their unique abilities, they quelled various conflicts around the world and rightfully deserved to be revered as deities. However, in the 16th century, the church accused them of being evil witches. The two were hung up and subjected to executions, but no matter the severity of the punishment, they could not be killed. This only further convinced everyone that they were indeed the legendary witches spoken of in tales. The priest then devised an inhumanely cruel method of execution. They tightly bound Lisa and forced her into a human-shaped iron cage. Once securely locked with chains, they mercilessly threw her into the sea, condemning her to suffer the eternal agony of drowning. Fortunately, Ayla managed to escape from the prison. From that moment on, she tirelessly searched for Lisa, but finding her in the vast ocean was undoubtedly like looking for a needle in a haystack. 500 years later, during her quest to find Lisa, Ayla met 3 other immortals. They hit it off immediately and formed a mercenary squad. While searching for Lisa, they simultaneously fought against various terrorist groups, leaving no survivors in their wake. Their goal was to prevent anyone from discovering their secret ability to resurrect. However, the unexpected finally happened. During a mission to rescue hostages, they swiftly eliminated all the enemies, but when they arrived at the room where the hostages were supposed to be held, they found it completely empty. Ayla sensed something was amiss, but it was too late. A group of armed men suddenly opened fire on them, and a hail of bullets brought them to the ground. Clearly, the attackers were unaware of their secret. Just as they assumed the squad was undoubtedly dead, their wounds began to heal quietly, and the bullets were pushed out from their bodies. Before the attackers could react, a one-sided massacre had already begun. Ayla pulled out her medieval battle axe and effortlessly harvested a multitude of heads with a few casual swings. The enemy was quickly annihilated. As Ayla scanned the room, she suddenly noticed a surveillance camera in the corner. She realized that the squad's secret of resurrection had been captured on video. The mastermind behind this scheme was a CIA agent named Mac. The reason Mac became suspicious of Ayla's identity was that he had accidentally discovered a black and white photo of her serving in the military in 1863. The escaped members of the squad were well aware of the consequences of their secret being exposed. They would likely soon become lab rats. To get to the bottom of the situation, they decided to confront Mac. However, on the train, they all simultaneously had a strange dream. They could clearly sense that on the other side of the world, a new immortal had emerged. It was a female soldier named Mary. During a mission, she was stabbed and died on the spot due to excessive blood loss. Strangely, after being sent back to the base, Mary miraculously came back to life. Even more bizarre, the knife scar on her neck had completely disappeared. Everyone was puzzled, and even Mary herself had no idea what had happened. Her resurrection was quickly discovered by her superiors. Mary was treated as a monster and was to be sent to a laboratory for research. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Ayla appeared. She easily subdued the 2 guards and knocked Mary unconscious, taking her away without any time for explanations. When Mary regained consciousness, she was already on her way back with Ayla. Thinking she had been kidnapped, Mary made a bold decision. She forcefully kicked open the car door and jumped out without hesitation. Ayla, however, remained extremely calm as she watched this unfold. Seeing Mary trying to get up and escape, Ayla simply shot her dead. As Ayla approached Mary, she astonishingly resurrected on the spot. With the wound on her forehead rapidly healing, the revived Mary still refused to give up. She stabbed Ayla with a dagger, but Ayla demonstrated through her actions that this could not kill her, for they were both immortals. To understand her situation, Mary decided to leave with Ayla. However, on the flight back, Mary still could not accept the fact that she could live forever. While Ayla was asleep, she attempted to escape once more. This time, Ayla showed no mercy and directly broke Mary's arms and legs. It was then that Mary noticed the wounds on her hands healing swiftly, and her broken legs miraculously realigning themselves. Finally, Mary accepted reality and her identity as an immortal. However, on the very night they returned to the camp, the girl had a nightmare that she would never forget for the rest of her life. The feeling of endlessly looping suffocation brought her an unprecedented sense of despair. Shockingly, she had dreamt of Lisa. This revelation stunned everyone. They had lived for hundreds and thousands of years but had never encountered such a situation before. After calming down, Ayla began to tell the girl the story of her and Lisa. Lisa was the second immortal to appear in the world. By the time Ayla found her, she had endured unimaginable loneliness for an unknown period. It was with Ayla's help that she rediscovered the hope to live on. The two became the closest of sisters, traversing the world together and fighting side by side in countless wars. However, after being thrown into the sea by the villagers, Lisa vanished without a trace. The girl listened with growing interest and began inquiring about the experiences of the others. The long-haired man was the first to enlighten her. He discovered his immortality during the Napoleonic Wars in 1812 and had lived for over 200 years, making him the youngest among them. The short-haired handsome man and the bearded man were nearly 1,000 years old. They were once mortal enemies during the Crusades, one European and the other Arab. They killed each other many times, only to find that neither could die. Thus, they cast aside their hatred and became the most intimate of friends. Ayla, the team leader, was the oldest in the group. However, when the girl asked about her age, her response was rather evasive.